What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zeph War Games, and today I am bringing you, of course, what is possibly going to be the new #1 deck, and that is called Sprights. So this profile was provided by Aiden. It is predominantly a Go Second build. It is to be built a little bit differently from the common profile you'll see online, just so you can see a different variant or a different version for the deck as well. With all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe. If you get the video above 50 likes in the first 24 hours, I will bring you a test and combo video for the deck, and we're hopefully going to be able to get a duel of Sprights versus Telements as well for you guys. With all of that out of the way, please let's dive headfirst into the profile. So we start off with triple Sprite Blue. So this is the secret in the set. This is the one that is hard to get, or the chase of it. And it basically, if you control a level or rank 2 monster, you can special summon this card from the hand. You can only special summon itself once per turn that way. And then if it is special summoned by any means, you get to add a Sprite monster from your deck to the hand except itself. Then of course you've got your Sprite Jet. Now, first and foremost, do not go and pay £20 for this. I've seen so many people online, on eBay and everything like that, trying to charge £20 for this card. It is a super, guys. It is probably one a box, maybe a little bit more, depending on how good your boxes are. Wait, they can be found for £1 if you look in the right places. Absolutely bonkers paying any more than £1 or £2. Maximum £5 on a card like this. So if you control a level or rank 2 monster, again, you get to special summon this card from the hand for free, and you can only special summon Sprite Jet once per turn this way. If this card is special summoned, you can get to add a Sprite spell or trap from your deck to the hand, and the card that you're going to be searching more times than not will of course be your starter, which is basically a pseudo version of any of the Sprite monsters. So you get to special summon a Sprite monster from the deck, but you lose life points equal to its original attack. And for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you can't special monsters except level 2, rank 2s, or link 2 monsters. And you can only activate it once per turn. For the other Sprite monsters, of course, we've got the 2 red. So if you control a level or link 2, again, you get to special summon it for free. And the best thing about the red, quite like its compatriot or its other card of Carrot, is red is when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you contribute one other link, rank, or level, rank, or link 2 monster to negate the effect. And if you tributed a rank, or link 2 monster to activate the effect, you can destroy that monster. So obviously you kind of want to be getting rid of your link or your rank in order to get any additional destruction. Carrot pretty much does the exact same thing. Again, controlling a level or link 2, you get to summon itself for free. The big important thing is it doesn't actually say rank, so you've got to be very, very careful on that, because sometimes that will catch people out. So this one is when your opponent activates a spell or trap as a quick effect, you can tribute one other link, rank, or level 2 monster, negate the effect, and if you tributed a rank or link monster, you get to negate, you get to destroy it. So keep that important. The last Sprite card is Smasher. This is actually really good for first and second, just because you're putting so many cards in the graveyard, and the fact it's a quick play, you get to set it. So you banish a Spring Gun, Spherion, or Sprite card. Obviously, more times than not, you're going to banish a Sprite card from your hand or graveyard. More times than not, you want to banish it from the graveyard. And then you get to use one of the effects. Special summon a Spring Gun monster from your deck. Special summon a Ethereal monster from your graveyard. Or, what you're going to be using more times than not, banish one level, rank, or link 2 monster you control and one card your opponent controls. Non-target, BEA, beautiful board clearance. Then, of course, as absolutely everyone, we are playing, or Aiden is playing, the Frog engine. So you've got 2 Swap Frog, he's got the 1 Ronin Toad in, and then he's gone for the attack block of the Dupe Frog. So the way this works is totally awesome. You're going to summon it with materials. It does seem like a bit of a waste when you use Toad's effect when it's got materials. So it does give you the ability to bring out Swap Frog, and then the idea is that Swap Frog would then send another one, so you've deck finned a lot. The only difference by adding in a Dupe Frog is it gives you the ability that during the standby phase going second, or going first, sorry, during your opponent's standby phase, you summon out Dupe Frog. It then gives you a nice little attack block. The issue is the same thing that breaks this board without the Dupe Frog will break this board with the Dupe Frog, and that is of course Dark Ruler No More or Droplets. It does give them another monster that they need to worry about, and if your opponent does not read this card or know about the attack block, it can lose them the game. If you really, really want to, you can take this card out completely. There's not really any more Sprights that I would advise bumping up, but this can become hand traps or something else. For the starters, now you're either going to go down the Diva route for the TCG, or you're going to be going down the Beaver route for the OCG. The reason he went with Beaver over Diva is Diva will get you ideally, or Diva's going to get you to Halifibrax plays. He's kind of playing around with the suspects of what could be banned possibly in the upcoming ban list, which are probably going to be Halifibrax. Arguably it could be Toad as well. There is like a live twin version of the deck running around, which is also really, really cool, but it gives you a couple of other options. The Nimble Beaver, the reason this is different from the Diva is this one actually lets you summon back from the graveyard or the deck, which is really, really cool, but you've got to keep in mind as well, it will need a bit of a setup. It would already need a card in the grave to do it. It can still summon from the deck, which is really nice, so it still has the same like fragilities as the Diva, but obviously one's a tuner for Halley Firebrax plays. This one you're probably going more for rank 2 plays, which is really important when you're trying to get to your Gigant. And the best thing about that is if you get to this early, it can lock your opponent out of summoning Nibiru, so then you can just make all of your summons for pretty much free. Then a card that is actually a hand trap and a very, very good extender in this deck is triple Cypher Gamma and a Driver. So obviously it is the hand trap of Gamma, but on top of that, because it is a level 2, it can be special summoned from the deck. And then again, if you wanted to, you've got Halley Firebrax roots into it if you wanted to, or you can use it for other different means as well. So the way you can get it from the deck is your Gigantic Sprite can special summon it from the deck, which can be very, very important sometimes. But yeah, it's just another extender and a hand trap. And it's not, if you've already opened up a Gamma, there's no real way of just getting rid of the rest of them. Or if you've already resolved a Gamma, the two in your deck are ideally dead, so you get rid of them. Other ways you can summon it out as an additional free extender, of course, is off the back of E-Telly. So it's just making sure, and this is what this deck does the best, is having as many extenders as possible to get you to an end goal as fast as you possibly can without even conducting a normal summon, which is why you can play the Nimble engine, or of course you've got the Swap engine, and of course you've got the Diva engine as well. So the fact that these can be specialed off of the Gigantic is what you're ideally going to be going for, and that's why Nimble Beaver is your starter. So that's it for the monster lineup, and of course, well, and the spells lineup for a little bit of it. Now we're just going to look into consistency cards, and then we'll look into the Go Second cards as well. So for the consistency cards, Pot of Prosperity. Again, I know we're probably going to be waiting more on the tins for this, but if you're building a deck like Sprights at this current moment in time, you're definitely going to already have Prosperities, or you're going to be looking to make them as max as you possibly can, which is what you're going to need. There's plenty of targets in the extra deck that you're not going to need to rely on every single game, so you do have very easy targets to banish off of your Pot of Prosperity. Obviously, Call by the Grave, because it is just your general protector from hand traps. Not that you need to worry that much about hand traps in this deck, because you just have so many free extenders that there's not really one particular hand trap or a single hand trap that just stops you dead that Call by will really deal with. Then for the Ghost Second cards, of course, Triple Dark Ruler no more. Triple Mystic Mind, disagree with that, but it is one of the best ones. The fact that the Spright board can be as minimal as like 2 cards or even 3 cards, if your opponent is putting multiple monsters on the board, you could take out your normal summon and go for something like Lava Golem, which can be really, really cool, but that's where the side deck's going to come into play, and I'll have a look if he's got a side deck ready in a second. True Evenly Match, one of the best board breakers, like comboing off Dark Ruler and Evenly is so good. And one thing this format is slightly missing is the fact of having a really good Go Second deck. And what I mean by that is a deck that can perform going first, but can also perform very, very well going second. So it's kind of one of these ones where it's like, if you win or lose a dice roll, you choose to go second, your opponent is then expecting an OTK deck. Then that's when you start activating your board breakers, you start changing everything up, and then following off of the back of that, that's where they can start going, well, I don't know if I want to let this Spright deck go first or second, and that's where your side deck can come into play, where if they take the risk and they go first, you've still got the ability to break their board, and if they don't take the risk and make you go first, you can adapt your side deck accordingly. Moving on to the extra deck, we've got 2 Gigantic Spright. So this one is pretty much the main go-getter. This is how you get Swap Frog from the deck. So it requires 2 level 2 monsters, so it is nice and generic. And if it is XYZ zoned, you can treat a Link 2 monster you control as a level 2 monster for its material. The original attack of this card that has a Fusion Synchro XYZ or Link monster as material, it becomes doubled, so it becomes a 3200 beta, which is absolutely amazing. And then during your main phase, you can activate this effect to detach a material from the card. Well, specifically from a monster you control, which is really cool. And if you do, special summon one level 2 monster from your deck. Also, neither player can special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except for level, rank, or Link 2 monsters. So you can only use each effect once per turn. So again, it's very, very interesting. And you've got to keep in mind that's where some of the other cards in the extra deck come into play. So I'll show you all of the ones that you're going to try and play around with. That's where technically Halley Firebrax can help you out, because it can make a synchro during your turn, bring out a Riser Dragon, which might be worth doing, because then you can play like a 1 Snow, you can play a Token Collector, anything like that. But it's just something to look into. You can even go into Formula Synchron as it's a level 2 to get a draw, and then if you leave a level 2 on the board, you could go into Herald of the Arc Light. So it does give you a couple of other options to play around with. Totally awesome. You only need 1, because this goddamn card, Spright Elf, will constantly loop it. So we all know what Totally Awesome does. With Sprite Elf, 2 monsters including a level, rank or link 2 monster, very easy to do. Can't be used as link material the turn it is link summoned. Your opponent cannot target monsters this card points to with card effects as if it needed that additional thing as well. During the main phase, quick effect, you can target 1 level 2 monster in your graveyard, or if your opponent controls a monster, you can target 1 rank 2 or link 2 monster instead and special summon it. Toad is not a once per turn to negate, which is very, very annoying, so it just constantly keeps looping itself back around, and it lets you add back a water monster from your graveyard, so that's where you can add back the Nimble Beaver. It's also where you can add back your Swap Frogs. You can pretty much start everything again if you want to. Carrying on with the rank 2s, we've got the Onabiru Soul Sweeper. So this requires 2+ level 2 monsters. Detach material from this card, target a monster your opponent controls, banish it. Really, really good that it's just a banish effect rather than a destruction effect until the end phase. If this card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you get to target banished monsters up to the number of materials this card had and shuffle them into the deck. So this is just one that came out in batch, so Battles of Chaos. Nice, easy common to pick up. Then of course you've got Cat Shark. This has had like 1 print. It's like a £15 card. Absolutely crazy. 2 level 2s. While this card has XYZ attached to it, the original water that was originally a water, it can't be destroyed by battle. And then once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, then target a rank 4 or lower XYZ monster you control. Its attack and defense each become double its original attack and defense to the end of the turn. So it's just a way of giving you a beat monster. Sky Cavalry Censura is just a rank 2 that you make and then attack and then go into Zeus without locking yourself in, which is really good. Can't destroy a battle while it has material, and then end of damage state if it battles an opponent's monster, detach a material to return it to the hand. Otherwise, you're just going to go downward Zeus. So you've got to be very, very careful. Keep in mind as well that the Gigantic locks you from level 2s for the rest of the turn, which is really, really important. And the starter, I believe, also is for the rest of the turn. Yeah, so it's after the card resolves, you're locked into level 2. So you can do all of this before you lock yourself into level 2s, which is really important. The one Almirage gives you a bit of protection. Obviously, it's a way of turning a Nimble Beaver into the graveyard. But I don't think it serves many more uses. This can easily be your Halley Firebrax if you want to. He's also cut the Pit Knight in. I kind of like this in a sense. So when a monster your opponent, this card points to, which is probably going to be pointing to your opponent first. Or if you make Spright Elf, you have Spright Elf and then you point it to that. Activates this effect, except during the damage state, you get to target an effect monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn, changes its attack to 0 and negates its effect. So the way that works is you activate Spright Elf's effect. So let's say that this is your board, right? You activate Toad, you send it to the graveyard, you negate. You activate Spright's effect to bring back the Toad, and then you can trigger the effect of this. Because this points to these, neither of these can be targeted. And then you've got an additional Omni Negate, plus you then get to target and negate another one of your opponent's monsters. It would mean that your opponent is putting monsters on the board before you attempt to activate the first Toad, or you're waiting for them to put monsters on the board to bring back the second Toad in order to kind of get the most use out of the night. The best thing about this as well is if it's sent to the graveyard and because it was destroyed by battle or card effect and sent there this turn, you get to special summon it. You can only use each effect once per turn, but this card just constantly keep floating, which is really annoying. And if you were to combo this off with the Spright Quick Play that boosts attack, it can be even more annoying. IP Masquerena, because then if you make IP Masquerena, you can make Unicorn during your opponent's turn, and a card that has rocketed in value, which I can't understand why this is now a £60 card. What are you doing, guys? Is Underworld of the Goddess. Yes, you can use IP, you can make IP. You're probably then going to have additional monsters on the board like this, or vice versa, probably something like that. And then like a level 2. You still then need to wait for your opponent to put a monster on the board and you just go, cool, IP, vroom, everything into this. It's a really cool card, it's a powerful card, but I mean the fact that it was like a £20 card and then all of a sudden it's shot up to 60 is absolutely bonkers. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's given you a different idea. Like, I mean, you're probably going to see 101 profiles that are all going to be, go first Spright, it's the best combo you're ever going to make. So we thought, or Aiden thought, it would be good to show you a go second version. And rather than playing loads and loads of hand traps, you just play loads and loads of board breakers, board turns off, board control, you name it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys, as absolutely always, stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.